Hi, Tom. It's really exciting to have you here at the SAUVC challenge, and we heard that you started the RoboSub competition, which is like the father of all underwater robotics competition. So, can you tell us something about that, and what made you start this initiative?
Well, originally we started 21 years ago now, and it was very much in the beginning like the SAUV has been in the beginning, a few teams and then rapid growth. And it was started and continues to be focused on education and particularly learning system engineering and underwater autonomy. So back 20 years ago, there weren't too many robotic, quote unquote, robotic competitions. Now there are a lot of them, but there aren't too many that are underwater and also focused on autonomy. That's really the core. And also, like I was saying at the beginning, really education is the key focus. It's not one of these grand challenge things or X Prize or one of the many other kinds of competitions that there are now. It's really about the students learning how to work together, how multidisciplinary teams, putting together a system, working against the timeline, clock and limited budget, all the realities of life, right? This has very much the flavor of all of them, really, the spirit of it all. There's some differences, and certainly the technology over 20 years has improved greatly, component technology, but they still feel the same to me. They're energizing events. Everybody's putting in a lot of hours to try to accomplish some goals, and I think it's really maximizes learning, and sort of complements what you get in school. The school courses are very focused on engineering disciplines, and this is very multidisciplinary. So it's great, and in fact, one of the problems we've had in you can see it happening here already, is managing the growth. You start to get up to 30, 40 teams, 50 teams. Just the logistics of it is challenging. So it's good that there are these regional ones, because that's one way to manage it. And then we're still trying, we're just beginning, we meaning people that have been organizing, the Europeans and the Asian ones and the US ones, on better ways of coordinating and, standardizing things to a certain degree. So I really appreciate being invited to come to this one. I've always wanted to come and, you really don't get a feeling for these things unless you go to them. You can look at the videos, but it's really, there's, like I say, there's a certain spirit of energy that you have to sort of be there, and it's a privilege to be here, and
So, RoboSub is an open water competition, and here it's in this competition, we have confined space in a swimming pool. Do you think there's a huge difference between the two environments, or is this like a stepping stone towards what you would see in RoboSub?
Well, actually, RoboSub is not an open water environment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in a little bigger body of water than this. Actually, I'm not sure that it's a different shape. I don't volume-wise, it may not be that much bigger, but it probably is a little bigger, but it's deeper.
But visibility might be an issue.
Not in the current venue. It's been in San Diego for at least 10 years now. But initially, it was different places, and it was in Florida. At one of the Navy bases down there for a couple of years. We had it at Disney in Orlando. We had it at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, and some of those bodies of water were natural bodies where there was lakes and rivers, and that was quite challenging in terms of visibility. In fact, the one we had in the river in Annapolis, we lost a vehicle, the Cornell vehicle. I mean, just disappeared into the mud someplace. We got it back weeks later,
Okay.
but so yeah, it's challenging to find good places to have these. It's much easier to do air and ground competitions. You don't need special facility. And I think I've always wanted to have them in a large pool like this because it opens up a lot of possibilities to find bigger bodies of water, and we have done it in bigger ones. It's challenging. You have to. It's not just the water. It has to be a place where people can conveniently get to and stay. And places to. I mean.
True. Yeah.
There are some fantastic places in the middle of
But
nowhere,
so you
these
won't
Hollywood
That's
sets,
correct,
So
So it's a perfect setting for education and learning.
Absolutely. And this venue is terrific. I really think this is great. This is, it's not only the pool, but you have food and
everything
nice places to sit and watch. So I think it's a great, and one of the things that is connected to the venue is the size of the vehicles.
Yes.
And so I've always been trying to push them down to smaller and smaller because, if they get big and heavy, then you start needing cranes and the water's too small.
Yes.
And, the way technology's been evolving over the last 10, 20 years, that it just feeds into that because, everything's, you can, I'm surprised people haven't just used cell phones and made, put propellers on them.
That's correct. Yeah, we're seeing that with drones already. So
This is really nice. And as you know, not every pool manager is happy to host these things, and I know
There's a lot of effort to
some of the teams have trouble at their home, base, convincing the local pool manager to let them, test stuff.
Yeah.
And other ones are more cooperative. So it's, just whatever.
So how do you feel about your experience here? Do you have any feedback for the committee that they can work on?
Well, I think I'm nothing, dramatic. I mean, I think one of the reasons I wanted to really wanted to come is because I was hoping to get some. I was hoping to learn something too, and I really like the tasks that this competition is set up. They're simple, but they're challenging. I mean, the idea with any of these sets of tasks is to get the balance between difficulty and relatively easy to do. And I think the ones that you guys have put together are really good. And we're in the end, it's all about the tasks, and so I'm always looking for clever new tasks, because we change the tasks, all the time, and that's another interesting balance. Because if you change them too radically, then the teams that keep competing every year kind of get a little bit of upset because oh my God, you got to redesign everything, But on the other hand, if you just keep it the same all the time, it's just not much of a challenge after a while. So. I'm sure there's lots of little things to improve on, and we'll work on it and figure them out. I mean, but it's the other fantastic thing to me is over the 20 years or so is just the international aspects. I mean,
Country.
yes, I mean, very wide. Well, you can see it
Yeah.
here. I mean, just
Diverse.
very diverse, and it's awesome how I mean, it's one thing to make stuff in the U.S. I mean, where you have you can run down the street to Home Depot or whatever, but from Bangladesh or
Yeah.
from some of these small places, it's very inspiring to me that people
They've got the
can
whole
do it.
system together.
Yeah,
From
yeah,
scratch.
yeah. I mean, it's terrific, and I always wonder, like I say, it's all about learning and about the students. So
Right.
I'm always thinking, well, I wonder where all these guys and gals are going to be 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and what influence this will have had. I'm sure it'll have some. It may not be that they're working in underwater things, but they'll probably be doing engineering or working in teams and doing things, learning, doing things that they learned here in different areas. So it's hard to quantify that kind of stuff in the long term. So it's like education in general.
Yes.
It's hard to quantify education.
Yeah.
But I think everybody agrees it's important.
Yeah, that's great. So, do you have any future plans or vision about these competition? Do you think we'll be ever able to combine marine robotics into like academics and students will get a chance to learn this as part of a subject in the university level or like a
Oh yeah, that was always a hope.
Yes.
I mean, and some universities have done that.
Yeah.
Incorporated this into like a senior capstone project
Yeah.
or some other project like that. And it's very much dependent on the school and their interests and how they want to do that. But I suppose we could try to push that a little more. Provide resources or the other thing that we've talked about as far as the growth, and it's just talk at this point, but is the concept of a World Cup,
That's good.
like every 4 years,
Yeah.
just kind of in that mode, some global big, the
Yes.
biggie, the big one,
brings
the World
entire-
Cup,
yeah.
I mean, we could. I think that there's no reason things couldn't move in those directions. We just need to get the same resources that FIFA has.
Yes,
Soccer.
yes. We
people.
just need to do that.
Yeah, we get
all
the
the sponsors.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, but you're right. The incorporating things into the academic programs is a good thing, and that's why the IEEE involvement has been good too, because that's as you know, it's a professional organization, so it gives participants a way to publish papers and get things out that they can that are meaningful on a CV kind of thing, so that's a good thing too. Yeah. So,
Okay.
there you
So
go.
I think that's-
anything else you need to know.
That's most of it. Thanks a lot for sharing your vision with us.
Well,
And
thank you for inviting me. Really, I mean, like I say, it's really a privilege to be here.
and we look forward to
last
your
time,
talk.
the last time I was in Singapore was in 1970,
Oh, wow.
71.
Oh, okay,
So-
great. it's
so
been
Singapore's
long
changed a
time.
lot, too.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, immensely. So yeah, we look forward to your talk on Monday, and hope to see you again next year.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's
with
great.
not that long of a gap.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Sure.
much.